Okay, recording's in progress. So we'll go back home and we'll start this. This is take 2. Okay, Daniel, remember, take 2. Okay, take 2. So you're going to be working with Bounce Fitness, or I think Leanne's put in there one on Meditech. Now, the key here is to understand that you're going to participate in 2 meetings, you're going to lead 2 meetings, and you're going to prepare a presentation for 2 different groups. You're going to negotiate persuasively, and that's what I'll be looking for in the meetings and in the presentations. So the practical assessments requires you to do the following. As we said, we're going to participate in 2 meetings, lead 2 meetings. The way the assessment task is going to be done is going to be broken into 6 parts. So your first task is going to prepare and plan communication requirements, and this one's going to be written. Your second task here is going to prepare presentation, which is written. Now, you can do this on PowerPoint, whatever medium that you're going to actually present with. You're going to deliver the presentation, which you're going to video. Task 4, you're going to evaluate presentation, which is written. And then you're going to prepare for meetings, written. And your last task, 6, is participate in meetings, video. Is there any concerns with any parts of that, especially around the video? The reason the videos are in there as part of the assessments is that as an assessor, I've got to assess what we call the foundation skills. And those foundation skills are mostly around the communication skills. So to assess that, we put in a video as a way of being able to do that. Now, who's involved in these meetings? I don't really care, as long as I can see you in the video. So as we said last week, one of the ways you can do it is you can use your iPhone and a little stand or pack it on some books. The way I do it is with Zoom. I use the record function in Zoom.
Is that going to be like a one-on-one meeting? It doesn't have to be like a big 3 or 4 person meeting?
Just if you can get at least one person in there.
So that's 2.
Yeah.
Me and the other person.
Yeah, so 2.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now the thing here is that I'm not looking for flash stuff. It's just to be able to observe and for me to be able to sign you off. I can't sign you off if I don't actually see the material. And the reason is because if ASQA, which is the body that looks after vocational education and training, come in and do an audit, they often audit the assessments and they will look through the assessments and go, this person's been assessed to be competent, but this material's not there. And we don't want that to happen.
So are we recording 2 meetings or just 1? 2 meetings and 2 presentations, or 1 presentation, 1 meeting?
It only says deliver presentation. So we don't see plural. And participate in meetings, which is 2. So deliver presentation, 1. Participate in meetings, video is 2. So that's what I'll be looking for. You're required to complete the assessment task using Bounce Fitness or a simulated environment. And I think we've got that with Meditech.
Just going back up there, it says prepare a presentation for 2 different groups.
Yeah, it says 2 different groups, but in the assessment, it only says deliver presentation.
Okay, but we're creating 2 different presentations.
2 different presentations for 2 different groups. So I'm going off what I need to assess.
Okay.
So I don't want to make it too onerous with you, but maintain the structure of the assessments. Each task comes with a set of instructions, and there's some really good templates we're going to go through in a moment. You've really got to follow these instructions carefully to complete it. And then you're going to submit your completed workplace templates, and any other required documentations will be copies of your presentations as well. Now, I'm going to be doing the observations via the videos. So that's what I'm going to be using as my. Now, you don't want me to talk through the scenario, do you? I can talk through the scenario if you want me to.
No, I
Yay?
guess what we need to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really, like it gives you the story, but it doesn't really, that's not what the assessment is asking for.
Exactly. So let's get down to what the actual assessment is. So for task 1, prepare and plan communication requirements. So you're going to access Bounce Fitness for the policies and procedures related to the following. You're going to be looking for presenting information in the workplace, managing confidential information in the workplace, legislation relating to maintaining confidential information, ethical documents containing responsibilities in maintaining confidential information. So the first thing that I would do would be go into Bounce Fitness, find those documents and extract those documents out. So part A is going to be plan of the information. So you're going to go back to the scenario and the role of Sally Stowe, the assistant manager at Cairns, very nice place, Bounce Fitness. And for each of the issues identified, you're going to identify at least one purpose of the communication, at least 2 objectives of the communication, and you went through this in your knowledge questions. You did do this in your knowledge questions. Identify at least 2 desired outcomes for communication. Identify specific information to be communicated. At least one type of information the work area needs, at least one piece of confidential information. And again, this has all got to be in accordance with the policies and the procedures. So go back to your knowledge questions. You would have given all of these in your knowledge questions. Then,
just with the purpose and the objectives of communication, because they get a bit confusing because the purpose and the objective are very similar.
Can be. Let me just see very quickly.
I guess what I'm trying to clarify is the purpose. For example, if your communication was a meeting, is it the purpose of that meeting? Is it why you're using the meeting as a form of communication, or is it why you're having a meeting?
The first thing you would come back to is, does it have an agenda?
Yeah, and that would be the objectives, wouldn't it?
That would be the objective of the meeting.
The purpose would be?
The purpose would be what's going to be the outcome. Let me just very quickly. Pull something up for you. Good question.
Just out of curiosity, what we were always taught was the purpose is why you're doing something, and the objective is what you want to get out of that.
Okay.
What you want to get out of it, isn't that the desired outcomes?
Sort of. The outcome is what the end product is. Is that correct, or am I jumping the wrong train?
No, let me. Bugger, it's too long. Let me first up, I'll give you the purpose. Okay, there's the purpose. So that's how I want you to look at it. Now let's go into objective. So if you copy that down and use that as your guide, and that's what I'll be marking against.
That's
Come on.
getting confusing again because it's
Is
saying it is the overall objective or goal of the activity or endeavor.
The issue is that they're an interchangeable thing, and that's the issue, is that they are interchangeable.
Yeah, and that's why it's confusing.
Then look at it this way. And I think, Danielle, you're on the right train there. Look at it from this point. The purpose is, why are we all here? The objective is, what do we want to achieve at the end of this meeting? I think that's the best way of looking at it. Unless we want to have some debate around it, because they are.
Yeah, because the next one is the desired outcomes.
Yeah, we'll change outcomes to objectives.
I can try and put it in a different way. So your purpose is to inform someone about something. The objective is what the information is that you're informing about. And the outcome is, what did they actually learn from all that? Did they reach those objectives?
Doesn't really apply specifically to meetings.
And don't we have to refer to our policies as well to answer those questions?
Yes, you will have to. I can't, my system is hiccuping at me at the moment.
I wonder if we need to go through actually the task scenario, especially in why Bounce Fitness, wants to launch these programs. What's the purpose for Bounce Fitness to launch the program? That's the way I will look at this.
One of the ways you can approach this is, Mary, I think you're on the right track
because
here.
It's about Bounce Business and these two programs. One for seniors, one for what do we want to achieve in actually working on these programs? What's the purpose of the programs in the first place?
Your policies and procedures should give you the terminology used in meetings. So I think we have, yeah. So if you go to the policies and procedures, you should be able to pull up the policy, because normally your meeting procedures are set out in like a style guide.
Yeah, but that's how we will present the communication. You know, the size font or
you're taking me literally there, Cecilia. So often they give you a structure of what the meeting is. Can we hold on that thought until we get down to the actual planning document?
Yeah.
Because thanks, mate. Because in the planning document, it may just show us. Good thoughts, but I do like the thoughts. So you're going to be working very closely with those policies, because you're going to be looking at the organisation policies and procedures for managing confidential information, your legal responsibilities, your ethical responsibilities as well. Then you're going to identify at least one position in line with the purpose of the communication. This is really badly written. I think it becomes clearer once we get into the template. So we have
I think we need to look at the policies now to have a better idea.
Yep. If you want to go in and someone go in and pull the policies up. Let me.
Daddy, I've got the song that never ends in my head.
Going
And
round,
it
going
and it is
round and round.
killing me. Yeah.
It goes on and on.
So thanks for that. Yeah.
Do you know some people started singing it not knowing what it was?
I have heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll continue singing it forever just because. It's just a song that never ends.
There was one on Facebook, this reggae guy with oinky poinky something or other. My daddy bought a donkey. Oinky poinky donkey. My daddy's donkey died. And it was only 3 lines. And it was rattling around in my head for a week.
Inky winky wonky, daddy bought a donkey. Donkey died, daddy cried, inky winky wonky.
Is it? Mate, it did my head in. Absolutely did my head in.
I'm trying to get into bounce fitness. I don't know where to go to actually get into it. Unless I go into
What do you need from the policies and procedures?
Yeah, but I need to log into the Meditech Training College.
Yeah, I've got policy and procedures for meetings.
That's it. Just want to give that a quick scan for us, Daniel.
Yep. Policy, all staff, assistant managers and managers of Bounce Fitness are required to attend general centre and staff meetings as prescribed by each centre. Purpose of the general meetings include allow relevant managers and staff members to discuss and vote on company issues.
Well, there's your purpose.
Determine decisions and motions to discuss and resolve issues within the organisation. The purpose of staff meetings include communication and discussion of decisions of the management with regard to the operations of the organisation, provision of personal support and opportunities for staff development, opportunity for staff to discuss any areas of concern relating to their work roles, their colleagues, the management and organisation, and allow staff to discuss issues and needs of clients for the program. Excuse me 2 seconds. Hello.
Okay, so I would say this is a staff meeting, isn't it?
Sorry, who is it?
Yeah.
So it will be the communication and discussion of this project.
Yeah, that's what it would
That's
be.
practically that I will really write. Purpose
Yep.
of this meeting is to discuss the new programs regarding senior whatever.
Spot on.
Okay,
Yep.
regarding senior
Yep.
program, senior well-being program or whatever it's called.
So
Okay,
there's our
that's
purpose.
the purpose.
We've got our
Objective.
our purpose nailed.
All right, so we work on the purpose. Now, what about the objectives of communication? Oh, objective of communication. Would be the discussions to approve maybe budget.
Yep. You're going to
Okay.
need to see what's going to be the outcome. What is going to happen in this meeting? We're bringing all the people in. We've got the purpose of the meeting. Now, what's the objective of it?
I would say the objective is to discuss the budget, to discuss the approval of this budget, and the outcome will be to launch the program. I don't know if I'm right or not. But
Rather than discuss, it would be something like determine.
okay, determine. Viability of the project.
Yeah, could be viability.
That's what I'm going to write. And that's one objective. The other objective. Allocation of the new fitness programs, pricing. Potential partnerships.
Yeah. Anyone else with some thoughts?
Yeah, anyone that can think different, please. Let us know now or forever.
Ever hold your tongue?
Maybe to enroll more clients for that plan, for the program. That
Huh?
could be the objective.
Bring more clients into
Yeah.
the.
And then what's going to be your outcome at the end? It's going to be how you're going to be how you're going to action it.
Okay. Increase business, I don't know. First, I'm looking for the meaning.
So we'll go back up to this one.
Conclusion, development, okay.
So Bounce Fitness has decided to launch 2 new fitness programs, one tailored for seniors and one tailored for weight loss challenge for members. Your task is to prepare engaging and informative presentations for these 2 distinct groups. The senior presentation should highlight during the meetings and presentations, you're going to encounter discussions related to budget allocation. Your role involves negotiate effective, presenting well-researched proposals and persuading stakeholders, including the management team, to support your ideas and your initiatives.
Okay, one of the outcomes would be the approval from management.
Exactly. So after this meeting, you want support and approval.
That's one. What's the
Yep.
other?
Sorry, where it says the one tailored for seniors and one as the weight loss challenge, is these 2 distinct groups? Is that the groups it was referring to?
Yeah, these are 2 distinct groups.
Yeah, they're the 2 groups that I mentioned before, what it said
Yeah, so you're going to have
Yeah.
2 outcomes.
Yeah.
One outcome is going to be for the seniors group, and the other is going to be for the weight loss group. So you'll have 2 distinct groups that you're going to be working with here.
I don't know if one could be one of the outcomes.
I think there might be.
To the benefit of these groups, but how that will benefit Bounce Fitness with more membership?
Always more membership.
Yeah, I think there might be a slight confusion here because like you've got the 2 distinct groups, but in one delivery plan, you're only doing that for one group, and then because you have to do another delivery plan, so we're doing 2 delivery plan templates. So one for one group and one for another. So that's 2, like the objectives and the desired outcomes. It's only for that one group. 2 objectives for that one group, and then for the other group, another 2 objectives for that one. Because the assessment has 2 templates that we have to complete.
To fill out. Yeah, you're correct there, Mary. There are 2 templates to be filled out.
All right, so then we would say one of the objectives of the communication will be to highlight the benefits for the senior group. Then for the other template will be to highlight one of the objectives of the communication is to highlight the benefits for the weight loss program. That's the way I say it.
Yeah. So we have 2 delivery plans.
Then I would say that then instead of objectives of the communication to highlight the potential partnerships to bring more clients, that's actually one of the outcomes. Am I right or wrong?
I don't know whether there's 100% right or wrong.
You just have to be persuasive, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. You're on there, Hannah. This is all about negotiation. And
Instead of the 6th of March, can we put it back to the 10th of March that it's due?
Yes, can we move it a little bit back?
No dramas with me. You've just
Sorry,
got
I'm just trying to use my negotiation persuasive.
Yeah, that's okay.
I agree. I
Okay.
second Danielle, 100%.
You were very convincing, Daddy. Good
So
job.
the motion is one proposed, I second. Sorry.
But
I propose that we put it to the 10th of March, please, sir.
but
I second that proposal.
Seconded.
But let's do some more negotiation. I don't get paid until I mark your assessments.
That's fair.
Well, we can buy you a coffee to go with that.
Buy a coffee.
So that way you can stay up longer later on when you're doing the assessment.
I could, or I could be bribed with.
Oh, no, it's not a bribing, it's an incentive.
Oh, you're incentivizing me. Okay.
Yes. Trying to use incentives for you to.
Yep, thank you. So how are you going to be assessed? You're going to be assessed on your knowledge of the following: organizational policies and procedures related to presenting information in the workplace, managing confidential information in the workplace, work areas to be communicated to, and you're going to upload 2 partially completed delivery plans, 1 for each work area issued. So we've got 2 plans which you need to fill out. So you're going to nominate Bounce Fitness. Do you have the approval to present on behalf of the organization?
Yeah, we do, because you told us we had to.
Yeah, there we go. So that's yes. Work area. If presenting information in a whole organization, write NA or nil. Okay, you're not doing that.
No.
No, you're
To a specific group of people.
yeah, you've got a specific group. You got to nominate the work area to present to, the purpose of your communication, the objectives of your communication, and your desired outcomes. So we'll be looking at those three different areas. The A and the B will be for at least 2 objectives and 2 outcomes.
So obviously your objectives are going to be met in your outcomes.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a given. That's a given. Context of communication, what's the information to be communicated, and what's the confidential information to be communicated. This is where we have the confidentiality in there and where the policy comes in. And then what's the reason for the confidentiality? Position on the proposal, organizational policy for managing confidential information, what the procedure is. So you're only going through finding those and looking at it. Then you're looking at legal responsibility to maintain confidentiality.
Would that be the X?
It could be the acts, exactly. Yeah, I'd be looking at the Privacy Act 1988. We haven't done anything else on privacy since 1988.
What about the ethical document? Because I couldn't find one.
Yeah, they may not have ethics.
So like I've only put in the like the policy that refers to the confidentiality, but as an ethical document, I don't know if that's what you're after.
Yep, that'd be fine. So legal responsibilities is always going to be your Privacy Act. It may be any ethics documents that Bounce has. Do they have a code of conduct? So then you're going to be looking at the ethical responsibilities to maintain confidential information. So title of the ethical document. So all you got to do is what's the title of it? 2 areas that ethical responsibility and maintain confidential information.
So basically make sure that they're kept private and kept in a lockbox or
Yep, they're
with a password.
Yep, and they're only
And
accessible to
unhackable.
only accessible to people who have the authority to view them. So if they're in a filing cabinet, the filing cabinet must be locked. If they're in a cloud system, there's got to be a firewall around them to protect them, to stop from any data breaches, any hacking, unlike Optus, Telstra, and everyone else that's been hacked. Medicare, yeah. There was also a financial institution that was hacked where...
Oh, GE Finance.
Yeah, and there was a...
Yeah, that's where ours went to.
Yeah, and a second one as well was hacked as well.
Just,
yep.
sorry.
Yeah, Mary.
Just an admin question, because
Yep.
it's saying delivery plan and then partially complete delivery plan, and then it says to the candidate, complete 2 delivery plans. When we complete it, it's complete, but it's not a partially complete delivery plan.
Yeah, it's completed. The wording on these needs to be looked at. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Really, really is, and that's I've been taking notes about as I've been going through to give back to Leanne on this.
AI generated.
Oh, you leave AI alone. I love it, mate. I've got now I'm up to 10 different programs for AI, and I'm waiting on a new one that's being worked on now called Sora, SORA, which is text to video, where you can give the text and it will create the video for you. And I've seen the examples of it, and you cannot pick it.
I hate that.
AI, the only problem with that is we've seen a couple of issues already with actors and stuff like that being made out to say that they've done something, etc., and it's not actually that.
It's very difficult now with the quality of the AI generation to pick up deep fakes. It's why
That's right. We could have John Wayne back. That's about your era, isn't it?
I don't know why, but if you wanted him back, you could have him back.
You can't believe what you see anymore.
No, and this is the thing: you cannot believe what you see.
I never did.
And you can only believe half of what you hear.
Yeah, and I listen to everything that Donald says, and I believe everything that Donald says.
Donald Duck's got more brains than Donald Trump.
That's who I was talking about. So you're correct, Mary, in the fact that when you fill this delivery plan out, you filled it out. There's no partial one on here. So with your authority to present, again, you're going to identify the appropriate manager you will obtain approval from. So who's going to give you that approval? It'll be your one-up. It'll be a one-up manager. The work area, again, the work area you're going to present to. We're nearly doing a duplication from before into here, because you're going to do your purpose of communication, your objective, your desired outcome. Yeah, it's virtually taking what you've done in the first one and putting it in the second one. So it is what it is, and we'll work within the constructs. So you're not supposed to see this, but I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking for. So I want to see at least your communication information. I want to see the purpose of the communication. I want to see 2 very clear objectives, 2 desired outcomes, and I want to see at least 1 type of information work area needs. So what's the information that they need to be able to understand what it is that you're presenting, so they can make a decision on what you're giving them. Want to see at least 1 confidential piece of information in there. This may be your budget. It may be your target market. It may be something that
The size of the seniors.
Yeah, the age of the seniors. It could be anything like that. So at least one reason for confidential information. The requirements related to confidential information being communicated. Organisation policies and procedures for managing confidential information. You're going to be working on that. Your legal responsibilities for maintaining things like privacy. What are the ethical responsibilities? Now, the ethical responsibilities for the seniors may be the plans that you're going to put in place, some of the things that in your research that you've looked at. You don't want to stereotype and say that you're going to have more female seniors than male seniors because ladies live longer than men. And at least one position in line with the purpose of the communication. So that's
all this while we're referencing the policies.
Always. You're going to be going back into the policies all the time. So I want to see that you're in and out of the policies. You know the policies, you name the policies. That's what I'll be looking for. Then you're going to prepare your presentation. And this task requires you to prepare presentations for at least 2 work areas by completing the delivery plan. So presentation and work areas must be based on information needs and work areas that you identified in task 1. Steps to take. I want you to assess the partially completed delivery plan, which is now completed. You're going to use your workplace documents containing information on organisation objectives. So you want to know the objectives of Bounce Fitness. And you're going to do a presentation checklist that is, should be amongst all your material. So you're going to communicate to at least 2 members. 2 members? 2 members? Okay, good on you. We got it. We got it now. So we've now defined we want 2 people. So Danielle, you can have the 2 dogs as long as they're dressed up and have hats on.
Don't laugh. One will be a pumpkin, and the other one will be a deer.
I had a student a few years ago. I was lecturing a postgrad in management, and they had to have a formal presentation. And she knows I've got a warped sense of humour, and so she had it on Zoom, which was really great. But she had her Boston Bulldog dressed up in a, she used to have little suits for him, and it was a suit and a tie. He sat there all the way through the movie, didn't bark. It was cracked me up. I thought, what an amazing trick to do. She didn't get any extra credits. So we've identified we're going to have 2 people you're going to present to. And this can be through any of the, can be emails, can be chats, as long as you've got evidence of it. If it's through chats, just do a screen capture. If it's through an email, capture the email. Identify at least 1 communication method for each of the work areas that you're going to present to. What I'm going to be looking for is the tone of the communication style, and how you structure your communication. Identify at least 2 of each of the following. Requirements of members relevant to the presentation. So if they're in the meeting, what's their relevancy for being there? Desired outcomes of members from information to be discussed. So one of our outcomes is going to be the information. Identify the following based on members' responses after communicating with the 2 members of each work area. So at least 2 issue target audience must have based on the information to communicate. So we're looking at 2 issues that we want to get across here, and at least 2 problems that the target audience may have based information to be communicated on, so they know something about the background. Identify at least 2 positions of the organisation regarding the information to be presented. This is so badly worded. My goodness, didn't anyone proof check this? Grammar check it? Identify at least 1 supporting argument for each of the identified positions. So you want to have an area for negotiation. Identify at least 1 platform to use when presenting to each identified work area. Platforms can be the following. It may be a meeting room. It may be something like a video conference. Complete the delivery plan, which you've already completed. Prepare the presentation materials with relevant information for the stakeholders of each work area by doing the following. So create your presentation material. It can be a small handout. Thing I definitely want to see is going to be your presentation in whatever format, whether it be PowerPoint or any other media. But that's the one I want to see. I'm going to be assessing you on your practical knowledge of the delivery plan. So you're going to have your delivery plan. I'm going to be looking for, are you following that delivery plan? I'm going to also be looking at your practical skills relevant to preparing presentation materials as well. There's a checklist. Make sure you go through the checklist and tick that off. So your evidence to be submitted is going to be 2 completed delivery plans, 1 for each of the work areas, evidence of consulting with members, and this is going to be your emails, and also your presentation material.
Can you email yourself and then send yourself the response?
Of course you can. Yeah, there's many ways you can do that one.
Evidence to be submitted. It didn't say the videos.
Let's see if it comes out further down, because it does say up there, I need to see the videos.
Yeah.
And so evidence of consulting, this is what the template needs to look like. As simple as this. So you're going to be covering at least 2 requirements of the stakeholder regarding the meeting, at least 2 outcomes desired by the stakeholders. So that's got to be encapsulated in your email. That's just your completed. The thing that I will be looking for in your completed delivery plan is that it all links in back to your original task 1, and that all makes sense as into the flow. So you'll be going back into your task 1 to make sure that it all comes together. Then we move into the requirements of the stakeholders. So you're going to be negotiating with the stakeholders. What's going to be their requirements? What's the outcomes desired by the stakeholders? It may be that you're going to run the programs according to budget. Potential issues and problems. We've got to be careful working with seniors like me in case we have heart attacks, and that you have a DFib. I want to make sure that you have a DFib, that people with heart conditions like me. I had an incident in the event cinemas in Warringah Mall, and we were into watching this movie, and all of a sudden the movie stopped and the lights come on, and staff yelled out, "Does anyone know CPR?" And there was 3 of us that did. And they said, "We've had a young lady collapse. We've called an ambulance." One of the guys was the head of Surf Life Saving for DY. Another one was a trainee nurse. And I've been doing first aid for years. She was cold, she was clammy, extremely shallow breath. we couldn't get her jaws open. Her jaws had actually clenched tight. She was about 14. The boy was with her. We worked out whether they had drugs and all the rest. They said they hadn't. We were on to the ambulance services. I was doing chest compressions because her breathing was so shallow you could barely hear it. And the first aid ambulance services were saying, put a defib on her and shock her. And we're saying she's got a pulse. Why are we going to shock her if she's got a pulse?
Because she may have P.
And then we find out they don't have a defibrillator. How's that? They had no defibrillator. They had no first aid box. And this is Warringah Mall. The nearest one defib we found out was at Woolies on the other side. Now, we worked on this young girl for 45 minutes before the ambulance finally turned up. Now, I've got a heart condition. So when they come, I said, you got a second ambulance because I may need it because I've gone into AF badly. So we're going to look, you're going to identify potential issues and problems. So I want to see 2 issues, 2 problems that you've identified.
Isn't issues and problems the same thing? Issues is
Again, it's an interpretation of the words. So just stick to a problem is something that's going to affect the outcome. If we look at an issue, is that maybe something that may come up during so if we're rolling out 2 different programs, okay, we've got seniors and people wanting to get fit. What would be an issue for senior people?
Mobility.
Mobility. Money, health. So issues can be mobility, their health. So what problems that gonna then be to the program? If they've got
to ensure that there's other things there in case that occurs.
In case. So if they've got
mobility, you mean contingency?
Yeah, contingency. We definitely need a defib. Mate, definitely need a defib. Okay, you got it. Yeah, you definitely want a defib. So the problems are, if people have got mobility, then how do we solve a problem? We need to have other things there that people can use within their range of movement. You know, like for me, I've had multiple motorcycle accidents and I've got bits and pieces reconstructed everywhere. So
you're a temporary Australian.
No, I'm still here.
Temporary, you ride a bike, same as I.
Not anymore. No, the last one was a very big one. My shoulder wasn't connected to my body anymore. That one's a bit unnerving.
Got photos?
No, but I got the stories when they wouldn't give me any painkillers until they got me into triage, and they when they had me up on the gurney, they went to cut my leathers off, and they said, "Oh God, no, don't cut him off. Just unlace his vest." They're very particular about their vest. Just unlace it, and they did. They unlaced my vest, they slid it out, and then chopped all my clothes off. But I was in that much pain, and I'm right-handed, that I grabbed the ambo with the left hand and was bouncing him around the ambulance. And he come to see me a couple of days later with these massive bruises around his throat. And I said, are you going to put in a formal complaint? And he said, no, but he said, I can't believe how you threw me around the like a rag doll. I said, I was in pain. So platform to present the information. What's going to be your platform? Is it going to be in a meeting room? Is it going to be online? And then what's your platform going to be? It may be that my two platforms I've looked at is, am I going to hold this in an office or am I going to hold this online? My selected platform was online. Then the presentation styles. What's going to be the tone of the presentation style, the structure, and the style? So you nominate, you know, am I going to be inclusive or am I going to be strong in my convictions?
Assertive and direct.
Exactly. Now you've got it. I didn't want to give it to you. Can't give you the answers. Positions based on objectives. So what do you think or nominate? They're going to be those who are going to be for it, those who are going to be against it, and how are you going to provide supporting arguments? So if you have a position of this is going to cost us too much money, what's going to be your supporting argument to that?
So that's cost benefit analysis.
Cost benefit analysis, exactly. Or an ROI. You can do a return on investment. Another position could be that everyone else is doing this. You know, we're just going to be a me too in the market. What's going to be your supporting argument there? How are you going to defend your position? Okay, we don't need that. They're just my guiding notes for what I'll be looking for.
We don't mind looking at those.
No, you definitely don't mind looking at them, but I don't want to show you. So delivering your presentation. What to see here is logical steps. So you're going to meet with at least 2 stakeholders and you're going to provide evidence of doing that. For each presentation, discuss information identified in your delivery plan. So I want to see congruence between your delivery plan and your presentation, that you're not starting off with apples and ending up with hippopotami. So for each presentation, what I want you to look at is discuss information identified in your delivery plan. Use conflict resolution skills to identify at least 2 areas of common ground you and the presented group agree on, at least 2 areas of potential compromise based on information being presented. In the presentations, I want you to engage the people, encourage them to ask questions during the presentation. I want to see you motivate participants to achieve the desired outcome. And this is from your practical assessment task 2. I'm not going to give you guidance here other than to say, if this was me doing this, I would prime up my participants in areas of that you want to be able to achieve. And then you're going to respond to the questions clearly and concisely, and then you're going to summarize the outcome at the end of your presentation. You're going to complete minute meetings template, and you're going to submit that as part of your evidence as well. So send a copy of the meeting minutes to each area that you're going to present to. You'll be assessed on your practical knowledge of the information communicated. So I want to see you presenting information to stakeholders, negotiating with those stakeholders, asking and responding to the stakeholders. So there's an observation form there on what I'm going to be looking at. And then you're going to be submitting your evidence. So completed meeting minutes of the 2 different meetings, one for each work area, and Mary, a video recording of you conducting a presentation to at least one of these meetings. That's where the video come in. So you're going to have the templates. So just follow your templates. Paint by numbers. You don't want to see those. There's your observation form in what's going to be what I'll be looking for. That's just my role and what I need to do. And that brings us, did we have one more? Oh, that's just for me for the evaluation form. There's a lot in this in what you've got to do. It's just my assessment instructions. So there's a lot there in the bits and pieces. And so you've got meetings that you've got to do. You've got to do your presentations. You've got to send your emails, capture your meeting minutes. So there's a lot to do before, was it March? What was it, March the 6th or whatever it was?
Yes, Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Wow, there's a lot to be done.
Yeah.
I think we agreed March 10.
Yeah, March 10 was what we agreed on, I believe.
I'm not the person to negotiate with. This is the beauty of not having responsibility. This is why I love my job nowadays.
You do have responsibility to the students that you're teaching. You've got to take into account their health, their well-being. They're working 40 hours a week.
Only 40. You only work 40. How do you get it?
That doesn't include like the extra out of hours stuff that we do. 40 is what we get paid for.
Mate,
the 10 hours that we do travel to and from.
I'm clocking
We're
up.
Sick. We're all sick.
I'm clocking up 80 hours a week at the moment.
Yeah, but we don't have a choice.
Neither do I. You don't think at 70 I want to be working 80 hours a week?
Well, you do, because you still turn up with a smile. So obviously you're enjoying it.
Oh, mate, you want to see when I turn this off, I just collapse into an absolute puddle.
That's how we feel first thing in the morning.
So any questions out of that, other than there is a hell of a lot of work here?
Yeah, there's a lot of work. This is one of the things I was asking Leanne about in terms of how we pace ourselves. Like if a subject is 4 weeks, then I guess it should be made known like from the beginning. Okay, get all the chapters done, get all the module done in the first week. In the second week, start the first lot of assessments. And then like give 2 weeks for this kind of intensive assessment, because obviously 1 week's not going to be enough for this.
No, there's a lot of work in the next
very
unit.
Intense.
In the next unit, what I will do is, if we decide to go ahead with the Wednesday evenings, you may not want to. I'll do theory the first week and then straight into the assessments on the second week.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pull.
Sounds like a plan, actually.
Yeah, I don't want to pull the assessments into week 1, because you haven't had a chance to even start working on the.
Yeah.
But if I kick off intensive assessment workshop for week 2, week 3.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Or just as a thought, depending on how much time you want to spend with us, if we do a second day or a second night during the week.
I can't.
Sorry.
I've got Monday, Tuesday, 6 to 10, and then Thursday, Friday, 6 to 10.
He's already working 80 hours a week.
I'm already working 80 hours. I don't even have time. I don't even have time to change my mind anymore.
As long as you got time to have a shower and change your underwear, you're right.
No, mate, underwear can go 4 different ways.
Yeah, inside, outside, front and back.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Very,
You've been
just
in
a
the Army
question.
or the Air Force, which one?
No, I toured for month-long trips on motorcycles.
Regarding this assessment,
Yep.
you know, it's a lot of work and a lot
Yes.
of documents that we need to actually upload into the website. So as we go with the delivery plan, emails and things like that, are we able to upload them or individually, or we need to upload everything together?
Depends on Moodle. You should be able to upload individual documents.
So that way you can start assessing
Yeah,
them
I can start going through and looking at them. And if you want to flick them through to me, just flick them through to me and I'll have a quick look.
before uploading
Yeah,
them.
but I've got unbelievable confidence that you won't have a problem.
Oh, it's just the time frame.
Yeah,
That's
it's the time
I'm
frame.
starting getting anxious here.
Yeah, the thing always is with a due date is that it is always up to the assessor whether the assessor will still be marking after the due date, and I will definitely be doing that anyway.
Yeah, but also we don't want to, you know, extend it too long. It's just
No,
Yeah.
no, that's the thing. You don't want to extend it and all of a sudden have it roll over into your next unit.
that's the reason of my question. If we upload a part of the assessment, and I'm wondering if we don't get to the point where we can reach the 6 and give you the last.
Yeah, I'm more than happy if you email through to me anything you want me to look at. I'm more than happy to do that for you.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
It's the requirement of the minimum 2 participants in that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something that you have to engage with them and they have to engage with you, so it can't really be anything but someone who you can talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's going to be the problem. So use family and friends.
Um,
Can this activity
yeah,
be
I
done in
guess
group?
availability there.
You may use each other.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe we can help each other.
Yeah, and that's what I do in my diploma of HR course. Is all through all 12 units are these multiple videos, and as they say, it's so difficult to get people. And what we've been doing is students have been helping each other out in doing that, and I'm more than fine with that. It's just got to meet the criteria for the assessment that I've seen a video with 2 other people and the questioning techniques. Yeah, I'm more than happy with that.
Well, Mary, maybe we can help each other.
Yeah, the thing is the availability, like when I'm in the office, because I'm not in the office all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm in Gosford and everyone else is in Sydney.
That's right.
I thought about having like 2 teddy bears and being like, oh, what was your question? Blah, blah, blah.
The other way you can do it is do it via Zoom.
I thought of that as well, put all the soft toys
Yeah.
around a table, a round table.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've got the answer
is
for
like
you. Give me 2
acting.
seconds.
If you're medical students, you could use skeletons.
Oh yeah, Arthur and Martha downstairs.
Yeah, or go down the morgue at the hospital and press gang some people.
Speak. Speak. Speak.
Ah.
I do love the way he pushes the other out of the road.
Yeah.
Speak.
Trouble with Labradors, they're just too kind.
Yes.
Yeah, you just need to teach them to ask questions about budgets.
Yeah.
Well, I can do that. It's just a matter I'll have to mute the voice, like mute the bark, so you'll see the barking going, and then I'll just edit in the voice.
Do an AI edit.
Yeah.
Actually, there's AI now around. You can put a face on your dog.
Oh, you can put the big lips on the dog too. Have you ever seen those dummies that they've got for the babies with the big mouth and the big teeth?
Oh,
No.
I hate that.
I think it's funny. And you see the uniform or the outfits for dogs that make them look like spiders.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I've seen some of those. I simply cannot even get a warm coat on these Jack Russells in the middle of winter. And I just go, yeah, righto. Okay, anything else for tonight? Now, I'm
Only an extension in time, that's about it.
Yeah,
Ti-
agreed.
time's relative.
Yeah, relatively quick. You can tell by age and loss of hair.
Mate, you get to my age and, 1 year is 1/70th of my lifetime.
Mm.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
of us are up to around the 50s.
Oh, mate, I can barely remember back to 50. There's
No comment.
a lot of dead brain cells going that far back. So I'm more than happy, you get something done, send it through to me. I'll flick it back very quickly saying, yep, go with it. And if you need to talk to me, just send me a message and we can catch up very quickly. Even if it's just over the phone, just say, can you give us some more guidance on this? Okay, I'll make myself available. Okay, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Alec.
You enjoy this one.
You too. Okay.
Catch you later, everyone.
Bye.